gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car. I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Breaking news right now, news that we are horrified to have to report this morning. Two 13-year-olds are dead and a 12-year-old is hurt after an overnight shooting in Southwest Atlanta.
Unbelievable news to wake up to. Atlanta News First Don Shipman is live with the First Alert breaking news tracker in Atlanta's Oakland City neighborhood. Fill us in, Don.
So you guys heard it. Two 13-year-olds killed, one 12-year-old hurt in a triple shooting, almost a mass shooting, which by the FBI's definition, I really don't understand why people keep arguing with me about this, but this is just the reality. By the FBI's definition of a mass shooting is 4 or more people shot in one setting. So this one barely missed the mark. However, it was still extremely lethal. Okay, you have two 13-year-olds who were shot and killed. And this is what I'm talking about when I say the crash out culture. This is what I'm talking about when I say, you know, the ops culture. All of these different things are working interconnectedly. And what's the result is, I mean, it's carnage in the streets. And this is something explicitly coming out of the black community. Okay, at this point, it's not something that you can argue, right? And I think a lot of times, especially in my city, Atlanta, you see a lot of misguided youth. This is the water boy epidemic that we had going on and still have going on. I mean, I said they're water boys by day and jack boys by night. That still holds true. And you have a lot of young black youth, right, or juveniles who essentially are living a crash out lifestyle where their life or anyone around them doesn't matter. Okay. And that's why we have the situation that we have here in Southwest Atlanta. These super teen gremlins are on demon time.
Well, police have been here throughout the overnight hours. This shooting happened shortly before 1 o'clock this morning. The homicide investigation unit here, a number of police officers here. Police are telling us the shooting happened inside that building, inside that stairwell right there. Again, happening right around 12:45 this morning. When police got here, they say that they discovered 3 young people on the scene, 2 13-year-olds and a 12-year-old. Now, one of the 13-year-olds found dead here at the scene. The other was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, listed in critical condition, and did not make it. That second 13-year-old dying at the hospital. The other young person, that 12-year-old, also at the hospital, but expected to be okay. We talked to a cousin to one of the 13-year-olds, and here's what she said about her cousin.
Love to ride bikes and be outside. Bike riders be outside, ride bikes all around the neighborhood and stuff like that.
Woo! Y'all heard what she said. They be outside. We outside. I mean, what? It's just like, dog, we've been talking about it for years now. And she's telling us the real now. She's telling us the real, and people get into the comments and deny. But we have a real issue in the community, and unless we really address it with group acknowledgement, then group accountability, dog, community is cooked.
Bike riders be outside, ride bikes all around the neighborhood and stuff like that.
Important to note that we asked for parental consent to do that interview. That young girl's parents said it was okay for her to talk with us on camera. At this point, police still investigating until trying to figure out exactly what led up to this. At this point, they do not know what the motive was with this. Again, these are young children, two 13-year-olds dead and a 12-year-old in the hospital, listed in stable condition. Right now, police are sifting through surveillance video in this area, trying to figure out exactly what led up to this shooting. We're live here in Southwest Atlanta. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
Breaking news overnight in Southwest. You updated right now on breaking news overnight in Southwest Atlanta. Police investigating a triple shooting that left 2 teenagers dead and a 12-year-old wounded. Channel 2's Steve Galbach is live near the scene on Lee Street. And Steve, I know you talked with family members of one of the victims.
And we did have to move over here to the fire station after police cleared the scene. They told us likely safer not to be there where there may be gang activity. Now, we did speak with another cousin of the 14-year-old killed on his birthday. They told us they should be celebrating, but now they're mourning his loss. They told us the other victim is just 13 and his best friend. Atlanta police responded to a call of shots fired a little after 12:30 Tuesday morning. They found 3 victims, one 12 years old and 2 13, near a stairway of this townhome at a complex off Dimmock Street in Southwest Atlanta. One died at the scene, another at the hospital, and one survived.
They just told me that it was 3 boys. 2 of them ended up dead.
The cousin of the victim killed at the scene said he was actually turning 14 years old today, died on his birthday. She called him smart and funny, and described the boys in the neighborhood.
That's pretty much all they did was ride bikes around the neighborhood, go to the park, play basketball all the time.
Atlanta police homicide detectives are now talking to witnesses, but do not know of a motive or have a description to release of any suspects. They're continuing to investigate the deadly triple shooting.
No motive, no suspects. Street code is in full effect. No snitch rule is in full effect. That's where we're at with it, man.
Now double murder.
Any shooting is tragic, but when we have juveniles, it makes it more so.
And Atlanta police have not released a possible motive here. In the last check, we know that 12-year-old survivor was stable at the hospital. We're bringing you any updates we get on that surviving victim. And again, the search for the shooter. Have a live report on Channel 2 Action News at noon and starting at 4.
Yeah, and that police officer said it. Any shooting is tragic. When it's children, it's more so. All right, Steve, we'll stay on top of this story.
Now, staying on top of breaking news in Atlanta, a heartbreaking story involving children. 11 lives. Bobeth Yates live at Grady Hospital following a triple shooting. Bobeth, we know that 2 13-year-olds have died. We're talking about middle school aged kids.
Yeah, in fact, one of the victims went to Sylvan Middle School, but we have been moved to Grady Hospital where 2 of the victims were transported. Officials at Atlanta Police Department say they're continuing this investigation, but they have provided us some preliminary details. Now, what we're told is around around midnight this night, we had 2 juveniles shot. One was actually died at the scene. Then a second juvenile and another child, a 12-year-old, were then kind of ran for help to a nearby fire station where they were transported right here to Grady. A total actually of 3 juveniles shot. That second 13-year-old who was transported to Grady has since been pronounced dead, and a 12-year-old victim also shot, has non-life-threatening injuries, also transported here to Grady. Now, we spoke to...
Well, we were getting reports that the 12-year-old was in critical, so this woman just said non-life-threatening, so, you know, it sounds like the 12-year-old is okay, and that's good, but, man, I mean, we've been talking about this for so long, and it's not really much that I can go into and break down even further. It is what it is. It's plain and simple. It's right in front of our faces. And it's up to the community to put an end to it.
One of the family members of those victims, take a listen to what they had to say about this ordeal.
My cousin, real smart, real funny. He didn't do nothing to nobody in my eyes. I don't think he deserved this, and I think it was wrong of whoever did that, and I think whoever did that, I don't want to say too much, but I think whoever did that just come clean or whatever, because he didn't deserve this.
I mean, does she know who did it? Is she talking about she don't want to say too much? I mean, look, I just don't understand, like, what's funny. I guess this is her way of coping. I don't know, man. It just seems like this is it's very normalized, and she's just like, oh well, you know, whoever did that, come clean and da da da. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's much anguish.
Again, just to recap, 3 juveniles shot in southwest Atlanta near the intersection of Peoples and Sparks Street. We're told one of those juveniles, a 13-year-old, passed away at the scene. The other 2 ran to a nearby fire station for help, then were transported right here to Grady. One of them, a 13-year-old, has since succumbed to his injuries. The third individual, a 12-year-old, is expected to survive his injuries. Atlanta Police Department continuing their investigation, and of course we'll continue to follow this and bring you updates as we get it. Live in Atlanta, Bobeth Yates, 11 Alive News.
We continue to follow breaking news this morning where 2 13-year-old kids were shot and killed overnight. Kids who should have just been enjoying their summer break have tragically lost their lives. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates in southwest Atlanta for us. Bobeth, we've learned another child was also shot at the same scene.
Yeah, and we know that in the community, it's the summers are bloody, and that's something that we haven't gotten a hold of either. And you sit back and reflect on story after story after story, and there's just so much going on. It's hard to keep up with, and it's almost impossible to really hone in on just what you need to do to solve the issue. But the youth are extremely misguided. It appears that they are lost. I don't believe that they're lost in totality. But you just got a segment of the community that's holding on to the crash out culture, the ops culture, the street culture, and it's ending in casualties. And yeah, you know, you would think, oh well, you know, it's got to end somehow because they're just gonna keep killing each other. Well, that's not how it works, right? It's not how it works. This mindset spreads and infects other people. And it's a cycle that has continued for far too long.
Hey there, Aisha. Well, we have since moved to Grady Hospital where 2 of those children have been transported. Now, officials are still investigating this, so we have some preliminary details. Now, this all happened around 2 o'clock and the breezeway of an apartment complex on near the intersection of Sparks and Peoples Street. Now, officials say when they arrived on scene, they found a 13-year-old juvenile had already been shot and killed. Now, 2 other juveniles, a 13 and a 12-year-old, ran to a nearby fire station for assistance. They were transported to Grady. Since then, an update on that 13-year-old who was transported here has succumbed to his injuries. The 12-year-old transported to Grady, we're told, has non-life-threatening injuries and is expected to survive. Earlier, we caught up with one of the family members of the victims. Take a listen and how they describe this entire ordeal.
My cousin, real smart, real funny. He didn't do nothing to nobody in my eyes. I don't think he deserved this, and I think it was wrong of whoever did that, and I think whoever did that, I don't want to say too much, but I think whoever did that just come clean or whatever, because he didn't deserve this.
Again, Atlanta Police Department is investigating a triple shooting involving juveniles. 3 children, 2 13-year-olds have since succumbed to their injuries, and a 12-year-old suffered non-life-threatening injuries and is expected to survive his gunshot wounds. Now, officials are still investigating and are trying to piece together all the details that led up to this incident. Of course, we'll continue to follow this and bring you updates as we get it. Live in Atlanta, Bobeth Yates, 11 Alive News.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
A southwest Atlanta neighborhood, they are fed up with crime. 2 13-year-olds
are dead, another hurt after an overnight shooting.
This all happened at a complex in the Oakland City neighborhood, and Atlanta News First reporter Brittany Ford is live at Grady Hospital this afternoon where the surviving teen was taken. So Brittany, how is that child doing?
Well, the good news is that this 12-year-old that was injured in this shooting is in stable condition, expected to make a full recovery. But today we were out talking with neighbors who say this has happened over and over again. Tragedies just like this, they're calling for the city to step in.
And this was actually a campaign promise of Andre Dickens that he was going to take care of the crime in Atlanta. He thought he had all the solutions, and then what he realized is, oh crap, these woke leftist DAs and me being a Democrat and me having to toe the line and just go with what these people say, you know, people like Fannie Willis and all these people who just aren't fit for the job. You know, because Andre Dickens, he's not a dumb guy, right? He comes out of Georgia Tech. So, I mean, college degrees now are way different than what they used to be. But I think he went in bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, had high hopes, and then he really saw the root of the issue, and he knew he wasn't able to fix it. So now he's just kind of quiet on the matter and just parroting the Democrat talking points that crime is down.
An apartment building on Spark Street in southwest Atlanta riddled in bullet holes.
I had a bullet come through my grandbaby window. I done had a bullet come through my door. These was an innocent bystander. We are not getting no help, no justice.
Authorities say two teens who have been identified as 13-year-old Jacody Davis and 13-year-old Lamon Freeman were shot and killed while hanging out on these stairs just before 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. Family members of Freeman say the teen was killed on what would have been his 14th birthday.
Today is his birthday, literally. Today is his birthday, and that's not good at all.
Wow.
It's not. He's supposed to be here with us, celebrating, doing what we do.
Woo! So, he was taken out on his birthday. Now, that's different. I mean, these beefs are so deadly in the black community. They really are. All of this rap stuff and people trying to be hood and street. I mean, jeez. Taking out on your birthday is absolutely insane.
Deborah Daniels says the apartment complex has been plagued with crime.
We need help. I want the mayor and everybody else to come out here and please help us.
City council member.
Well, what did I just say about the mayor? I mean, I don't really think he's interested anymore.
Julian Bond says the city will be responding.
The police department's going to do a newly tuned focus on this particular property and the area in general.
Bond stressed they also need the community's help.
We want people to be involved, to tell us where they need the service, where we can apply our resources to better help and to serve them. You know, we don't want to just respond when there's a tragedy.
Grieving the loss of two young men, Daniel says the violence has gone unaddressed far too long.
It is sad. How many more times, how many more we gonna get killed? It is sad.
Now, Atlanta police are still working to find a motive. Right now, there are currently no suspects or even a suspect description.
Lord,
reporting live at Grady Memorial Hospital, Brittany Ford, Atlanta News First.
Atlanta police are searching for the person who shot and killed two teenagers and wounded a third. It happened just after midnight on Spark Street in southwest Atlanta. Fox 5's Brittany Edney joins us now live from the scene. Brittany, what have you learned about those young boys?
It has just been an extremely tough day, as you can imagine, for all of their families. In fact, several people have been bringing balloons over and other flowers and photos and things to leave where this all happened. But some of the photos, they're actually happy birthday balloons and cards and things of that nature, because one of these teenagers actually died on his birthday. Investigators say 13-year-olds Jacody Davis and Lamon Freeman were killed at a shooting off Spark Street early Tuesday morning. One neighbor described how the boys always played with her kids.
Everybody who knew the two would say their smiles could just light up a room. I mean, if you met them, kind of just draws you in. The big energy, big personalities.
Freeman's cousin says the teen was just hours away from celebrating his big day.
He just died on his birthday.
Adding the boys all spent the...
So, I mean, are they saying that? Are they saying this woman is a cousin too? I mean, was the kid mixed or what's going on here? Not a very likely cousin. Could be a friend. The friend that they were talking about, they play with the kids, but I don't know why they're putting cousin right here, Fox 5, so that's hilarious.
Light up a room. I mean, if you met them, kind of just draws you in. The big energy, big personalities.
Freeman's cousin says the teen was just hours away from celebrating his big day.
He just died on his birthday.
Adding the boys all spent their free time outside in the neighborhood.
Ride bikes all around the neighborhood and stuff like that. That's pretty much all they did was ride bikes around the neighborhood, go to the park, play basketball all the time.
We would come to youth groups sometimes with us at our church and involved in the bike shop, and just this whole community is reeling because it's a tight-knit community, a tight-knit block.
His family says 12-year-old DJ Davis was shot in the foot and underwent surgery. A young kid who was always with his older brother.
With the brothers, the last time I was around them, they came to my son's football game to cheer them on, and they were kind of their hype crowd.
Dozens stopped by to support the family as a memorial grows with balloons, flowers, and photographs.
They're sweet kids, they're great kids. We know God made them, and we're just going to miss them. And they did matter. They mattered a lot to all of us right here, so.
That was interesting what she said. She said they mattered. And guess who's not on the scene of the crime? Guess who's not showing up? Guess who's not throwing any money at this incident? Black Lives Matter. You know? I mean, it's wild what 4 years does. I mean, we are at a point right now. We're at a breaking point. These super teen gremlins are on demon time.
And new details we have here at 6. I just spoke with DJ's mom. She told me that she just came back from the hospital on the young boy who was shot and had to have surgery on his foot. She says it is still a long road to recovery. In fact, in a few days, they anticipate needing a secondary surgery. She right now, of course, in tears and just really trying to comprehend how all of this has happened right now, being surrounded by a lot of love and support, friends, family, and this entire neighborhood coming together again as they try to just reckon with this tragedy of 3 young men being shot overnight. Now, we did ask APD if there was any updates on this case. Right now, still no word yet on a motive or any possible suspect description, although they do say anyone with any information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. That number, 577-TIPS, 404-577-TIPS. Reporting live in Atlanta, Brittany Edney, Fox 5 News.
Well, certainly a lot of heartbreak there in southwest Atlanta. Brittany, thank you. Atlanta City Councilmember Jason Dozier, in fact, who covers District 4, where the shooting took place, released a statement saying, quote, "I am deeply saddened by the tragic shooting that occurred last night in Oakland City." He went on to say, "I have been in communication with the Atlanta Police Department, the school social worker, community representatives, and the City of Atlanta's Office of Violence Reduction to ensure that we are doing everything possible to support those affected by this senseless act of violence. We are working collaboratively to provide resources and assistance to the victims' families, as well as to the broader community that this event has deeply shaken."
Minutes right now at 11, there is a $10,000 reward in the search for shooters who killed 2 teenage boys in Atlanta.
Police say Lamon Freeman and Jacody Davis, both just 13 years old, were shot overnight. It happened at the West End Apartments in the Oakland City neighborhood, and we know a third 12-year-old child was also shot.
11 Alive's Cody Alcorn is live outside Grady Hospital, downtown Atlanta, where the surviving victim is recovering tonight.
Ron and Jennifer, Jacody Davis's little brother DJ was shot along with him and Lamon. As you mentioned, DJ is here behind me recovering and fortunately expected to pull through. A makeshift memorial sits against the bullet-riddled stairwell where Jacody Davis and his best friend Lamon Freeman were shot.
Just being kids, not doing nothing wrong for this to happen to them.
A memorial instead of what should have been a birthday celebration for Lamon. He didn't make it, but an hour into his 13th birthday. Jacody killed just 4 days after turning 13.
He was a child. He still was afraid of the dark.
Jacody's mom and dad didn't want to talk on camera, still coming to terms with this senseless tragedy.
Y'all took my child away from me. Something I can't get back. Like, that hurt. I don't even know what to say. My heart broken.
I spoke to several people around West End Apartments Tuesday afternoon who say the shooters who riddled this building with bullets took off running after the shooting.
Damn. I mean, this seems like a hit, and to be doing a hit on 13-year-old boys, I mean, a lot of the times these young ninjas are beefing with the old heads, so I wouldn't be surprised if these guys were 18, 20, 21, 24 even, and just hit these young dudes and, you know, took them out. I wouldn't be surprised, but hey, man, these streets of Atlanta, dirty, nothing to play with. Community is completely on fire right now. It's not the time to be outside. If it's summertime and you thinking you're going to go and chill on the porch and steps and you living in some of these apartments and stuff like that, I got another thing coming for you, man. I mean, it's completely over at this point. Stay inside. You might want to put some metal bars around your windows, even metal panels just to reflect the gunfire. But I told you guys how dangerous these apartments are in the A.
Family says Jacody and his little brother DJ were just a few steps from Lamon's apartment.
Just saying happy birthday to my cousin.
Seconds later, all three becoming the latest innocent victims of gun violence across Metro Atlanta.
They just need to stop the violence, put the guns down. That's it.
I'll tell you, it's just heartbreaking. Was out there this afternoon to see those parents now having to bury their children. These are rising 8th graders, again, just kids, gunned down just feet from their homes here in Atlanta. In Atlanta, Cody Alcorn, 11 Alive News.
Cody, thank you. Again, there is a $10,000 reward tonight in this case. Anyone with information is asked to please call Atlanta Police. You can submit a tip anonymously to Crime Stoppers.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.